And we're not recording. Okay, so I also, before we start, I wanted to see if Mallory Payan had joined. Okay, Mallory, can you unmute your mic if it's muted? Let me see if I can unmute her. Let me see. Okay, so, oh, there she is, just joining right now. Hello, Mallory, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Oh, hello. So I already kind of did some brief introductions and we're already recording right now. But I wanted to know if there's anything you wanted to say, any kind of introduction you wanted to provide, or if you wanted to just kind of talk about the center and what kind of resources are available.
Definitely. Thank you, Dr. Carrola. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Student Engagement and Leadership Center, thank you all for being here for these sessions. Dr. Carrola, we're excited to have you and your team members present to us today. We're excited that this too is an extension of our Staying Healthy series that we're doing. I think these are important conversations to have, and so we're very thankful to have our guests with us, speaking to us on a regular basis, and just continue to check our Minors on Monitors webpage, because we are working to have programming all summer for students, faculty, staff, the community. So if you have an idea, please send it our way. Our department email is selc@utep.edu, and I'll put that in the chat. But yes, selc@utep.edu, send us your ideas, and we will continue to have wonderful workshops like this. But thank you for your time today.
Okay, thank you, Mallory. And those that are joining us, we're just about to begin, and if you can just, the way we're gonna do this is we'll start, we're gonna start our dialogue, and we're gonna utilize the chat feature. So if you have questions, please, at any time, go ahead and use the chat feature, and I'll be watching that. And we'll try to be watching that, and we'll try to address those questions as they come in. If you really feel like you do want to kind of go ahead and, unmute your mic and ask your question that way, you can do that as well. But sometimes that can get kind of like a lot of people have questions. If we see it in the chat, we'll really try to address that. And I see, and so we'll have the chat open. And if I seem like I'm kind of distracted, I'm just trying to make sure I'm admitting all the people as they come in at the same time as talking to you guys, okay? So, okay. So today, I think this is the third session that we've done. And the first two have talked about resilience, social isolation, and a lot of things that stress us individually, right, and that we're going through. But some of the things that have come up before, a topic that has come up is a lot of students and staff and faculty, if you could just remember to mute your.
You just surprised me for dinner. We tried like ramen noodles. No, I just uploaded something.
And okay, so we do have some. We have a lot of, like I said, students, staff, and faculty who are home with family and with kids, with their children, and there is a lot of additional stress with that. And I think the school year is ending now, from what I understand, but still, we're expected to. There's a stress with doing our jobs from home, which is a big adaptation that we're all facing. But I think having a lot of these other home stresses with kids and the things that they're supposed to do and parent and be an employee and do your job and help your kids learn the things they're supposed to learn, is a lot of additional stresses. So I asked one of my colleagues, Dr. Min Shin, who's here with me. She's in my department. She's a play therapist, and she does a lot of research and teaches the play therapy courses. And she also has a lot of experience with what we call parent-child relationship therapy. And I know that's that's something that we won't get into. I don't think we're going to be teaching. We're not in this short period of time. We can't cover that whole spectrum of those topics. But I wanted to ask her about some of her expertise in that area and how it might apply to the situation that we're in. So the first thing, thanks for joining, Sang Min. And I appreciate you sharing your time and expertise to be part of this discussion. And I wanted to ask you just if you could maybe summarize in a brief way some of the concepts and ideas behind play therapy, and also the parent-child relationship therapy. What are just some of the broad ideas and concepts behind those things? And then we'll kind of see how those things might be helpful for this discussants and how for the participants, and how we might be able to kind of utilize some of those things in our day-to-day life.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. Today, I'm gonna introduce a little bit about child-parent relationship therapy, which is also called filial therapy. So in child counseling, many people think, okay, my child has some issue and some difficulty, so I'm gonna send my kids to the therapist or counselors. But in child counseling, the parents is really important. So in child-parents relationship therapy or filial therapy, the counselors invite the parents to the counseling and working with them as a change agent in the child counseling process for their own child. So counselors teaches basic counseling skills or parenting skills to the parents, and the parents practice with the counselors, and they transfer those skills to the kids so they can practice with the child. So we expect that the parents transfer those skills to their daily life and utilize it with their kids. So this child-parent relationship therapy has been backed up evidence-based research, backed up by research, evidence-based, and it has been successfully used with kids and parents from various different cultures, including Hispanic families and children's. So in child-parent relationship therapy, it is based on child-centered play therapy. So child-centered play therapy, in a child-centered play therapy, we believe that children has power and capabilities, and they have power to handle their difficulties. So we can apply this philosophy to what's happening right now. So we all stress because of this pandemic. Everyone experiences anxiety because of uncertainty. We don't know what's gonna happen next fall, or it's gonna be better. So we don't know. We all struggle and we all anxious and stressed. But we strongly believe that we all, including child, we believe that they can handle this situation by themselves. So as a counselor, I teach parents, we can support the child. We don't have to fix the problem for them, but we can be there and we can support, and by reflecting their feelings, and we can teach them how to controlling their feelings and regulating their emotions. So that's the basic concept of the child-parent relationship therapy.
Are there some real basic things that, what are some of the most basic things that parents can do to help their children, self-regulate, cope with stress and things like that?
So the basic skill, the number one skills that we teach in child-parents relationship therapy is tracking. So tracking means we literally commenting on the children's behavior. No judgment, no any evaluation. We just commenting on their behaviors. For example, I cannot see everyone's video. I only see your names on video. But for example, like, oh, Paul, I see you hold your hands like this. So we literally make comments on their behaviors. Judy, I saw you holding your hands, you touches your hair. So we comment on their behaviors. So we tracking their behaviors. In that way, they realize that, oh, I touches my hair. Oh, whenever I frustrated, I just sat down on the floor. So you can track your child's behavior. Hey, whenever you're happy, I saw you smile. When you got frustrated, I can see you frowned on your face. That's something you can easily do with your kids. So that's the number one technique you can use with the kids. And then the second one is you literally read their feelings. So, oh, you look confused a little bit. Or Mark, you look curious today. So, Crystal, you look curious today. I see you smile. So that's something you track and reflecting. So tracking is you commenting on their behaviors. And second one, reflecting is you commenting on their feelings. So we many times we reflecting their happy feeling, sad feeling, but we can commenting on their just neutral feelings too. You look wondering, you look curious, you look confused. So you can use different words so the kids realize that, oh, am I happy? Oh, I'm frustrated. Is this means frustrating? Sometimes the kids talked back to you. What's the frustrating means? Then you can use their own word. You feel like this. So you can use their own language, developmentally appropriate language. So in that way, they realize that, oh, am I frustrated? Am I bad? So you help them to realize their feelings. And the last one is limit setting. Limit setting is a little bit complicated. We need to set the limit with the kids. So for sometimes, like, kids wanted to hit you, right? They got so mad and they wanted to hit you. At that time, we need to stop them, right? Many times we said, stop. But in play therapy, we use...
Should we practice now? Because I'm just getting punched on the back. Just kidding. By my kid, like going on right now.
Yeah. The first one is acknowledge their feeling.
We gotta go pick up Jackson.
Not yet. Until his mom gets home from work.
Mm-hmm. You really wanted to play with the mom. So acknowledge her feeling. So
I know you really want to play with me, Madeline.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a moment to finish this call.
Mm-hmm. So first one is acknowledge their feeling. And the second one is set the limit. So this mommy is not for hitting. So we don't say, you cannot hit me. We said, mommy is not for hitting. And third one is we providing targeting behaviors. So we providing alternative behaviors. Mom is not for hitting, but you can hit this chair. So we provided some alternative targets so they can express their feelings. So first one, we always acknowledge their feelings. Oh, you are really mad at me. You are so frustrated, so you wanted to hit me. But I'm not for hitting. Mommy is not for hitting, but you can hit this chair instead. So that's the 3 steps. So those 3, tracking, reflecting, and limit setting is the 3 basic skills. And I know it sounds easy, but it's not easy. And especially moms who are with the kids 7 days, 24 hours, it's very hard. So that's why we invite parents to come to the counseling centers and we practice. It sounds easy, but it requires a lot of practice. And another one is encouragement. Well, sometimes we give the kids praise a lot. Oh, you're a good girl. So, for example, your kids doesn't talk to you, doesn't interrupt you right now, does it mean she's a good girl? Maybe, but she can interrupt you, but she can be still a good girl. So we wanted to encourage them. Oh, you really wanted to talk to me, but you wanted to hold yourself so I can work right now. Thank you very much. So you used encouragement, you pointing out specific behavior, and you appreciated their behaviors. So that's the encouragement. So when you wanted to praise your kids, you wanted to validate it, pointed it out, what specific behavior, what does that mean to them and to you, so they can realize, oh, I did this, and they have a chance to realize that, yes, this behavior helps my moms, so they improve their internal locus.
There was a comment segment that, and that's really great. Thanks for outlining outlining that. So Gina had a comment about she's hearing from faculty and staff that kids are extra clingy right now, seeking to be held and seeking direct attention, particularly during meetings and workday, which is kind of what we just saw, right? And I read something about this online. I'm not sure how this is addressed in your field, and what can we do as working moms right now? Is that, so that's kind of what you were talking about, correct? Like kids
Yes.
are being clingy. How do you think is there something you want to add to that?
So first of all, you need to explain to the kids. So before starting to meeting, you explain how this meeting will be important to you. So I don't know how much the kids, it depends on their developmental stage. So how much they could understand, but you use their language and explain to them at a developmentally appropriate way. So you ask them, this is very important for the mommy. So mommy gonna have a meeting, just 10 minutes, and the kids doesn't understand what the 10-minute means or 1 minute, 1 hour means. So you explain to them at their developmental appropriate way. You can teach the clock, if this number changes to this number, mommy will out. And sometimes the kids come to you like Judy, just experiences, and it's okay. We all understand this working from home is important, it's hard. So I think as a mom or as a parent, we admit or accept, working home or working from home is hard, and sometimes it can be interrupted. So you can explain to your colleagues or supervisors and explain your situation. So you can work on both to your colleagues and coworkers, and also you work with your kids. And it happens, and I think have understanding from both sides. I think that's important. And then, word is not perfect at this time. We have some virus out there, and we work hard to dealing with it. And doctors, nurses, we work hard to dealing with, and nothing is perfect. And same here, working from home cannot be perfect. So we accept that there is always some mistake, always some error, but we try hard. I think that's important thing. So we need to accept as it is.
Yeah, Simon, there was something I wanted to, because I think this kind of also connects to, the way parents react to their kids, quote unquote, misbehaving, if we can use that word, right? Or doing something that is maybe disruptive. And, how do you correct, or the word discipline is what I'm looking for, right? And so what are some of your thoughts on the appropriate, or is discipline the right word to use, or what's the best way to, when a child is breaking those, whatever those rules are, those limits, what's the best way to address that?
Mm-hmm. So my philosophy as a counselor as a counselor educator is a child-centered, and a child-centered approach is very liberal. And from that perspective, discipline, of course, it is important, but we wanted to give the child the choices. So we also wanted to focus on the relationship rather than discipline. Yes, it is important we discipline our kids and give some structure. That's important, but also we wanted to use this opportunity to provide them some choices. Think about their world. When they go to school, they always have been directed. There is some structure. There is someone who always told them what to do, and they always been judged and evaluated. And I think this is a perfect time for them to make a decision for themselves, and experience to take responsibility. So I know this is hard, but we can give them a little bit of choices for them and help them to make a decision by themselves and take some responsibilities. So, and I think that experience gives them some impression. Oh, my mom gives me some choices, and my mom trusts me that much. I never had these opportunities, but now I'm at home, and kind of it's a relatively safe place compared to outside, safe place, and a mom has some control, So you have your kids in a safe place under your supervision, and I think that this is a great opportunity for the kids to experience some opportunity to make choices, and take some responsibility. So I think that by experience that making choices, I think that improve, that also impacted their relationship as well, your relationship with the kids as well. So I would like to encourage parents, you take this opportunity, like, oh, this is a time not to discipline, but build a relationship together.
And that's something I was going to comment on that, because I think a lot of times that people and parents, but everyone is really focused on behavior, right? Like, we want our child's behavior to be this, or we want their behavior to change, right? And so the goal of discipline is, in their mind, to correct a bad behavior, right? But what you're saying is that the more you strengthen the relationship, the more the behavior will change. Is that true?
Right. Yes. So, having really good relationship with your kids, that affects not just on the relationship, but that trust help them. Oh, I have that. I can make choices. I can make a decision for what I need to do today. I think that trust affects the kids' behaviors.
So I want to take an opportunity, just like I encouraged before, to remind everyone, please, you can post questions in the chat, in the chat room, and we'll try to address as many as we can. And I'll stay on as long as possible. I know everyone has limits. We're about 30 minutes in. Great information so far, Sang-Min. Thank you very much. I wanted to move the discussion a little bit towards parent stress. Stress and anxiety the parents feel, because I think that's a real thing that's going on. And I know that, a lot of times, kids will feed off their parents. If the parent is anxious, then the child's going to be anxious. And so what are some, I guess, some recommendations or some strategies you think might be good for parents to be able to cope with the stress and to de-stress when they're working with their kids? What are your thoughts on that?
I think just be mindful about what's happening with you. I mean, be mindful with your feeling. So, oh, I'm anxious. I'm worried. I'm not sure what's going to happen with my work or my school, and I'm anxious right now. And, that unconsciously affects your relationship with the kids. So I think it is important for the parents to talk about it, not with the kids, but with your spouses or with your partner or friends or colleagues. I think it is important to share your feelings with someone who you trust. So sharing that information and realize that, oh, this is normal. Everyone is anxious and everyone does know what's going to happen in 2 months or 3 months. We are not sure. Nobody knows what's going to happen, and it is normal and it is natural. I think it is important to realize that, your honest feeling and what's going on with you, and share with someone who are in the same shoes. For example, is summer camp open in this summer? We don't know. And do we know the pool's gonna open this summer? We don't know. And then how that will be really frustrated for the parents. So, all the access for the kids to go out and play, all the places are closed. And now you're about to spend your 24 hours, 7 days, entire summer with the kids in your house. And that, I don't know, we can't imagine, we never experienced that type of summer at all. So we are not, everything, we don't know, what's going to happen. So like sharing that thoughts and feelings and uncertainty with your family, and your kids, friends, parents. I think that just sharing mental your feeling, I think that would be very helpful. And then the researcher also shows that having the conversation with uh, your supporting system that helps display your feelings.
I have a comment from Mark about, could you speak to the value of establishing a routine or a schedule that stays stable over the week from Monday to Friday? Is this structure helpful? Like having class time, play time, meal time, study time, etc. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that is really important. So I think the schedule depends on your family lifestyle, but I think having a structure is really, really important. Because kids think about their regular normal life. They wake up in the morning and have a little breakfast, or they go to school and have a breakfast, and they spend time at school, and maybe they go to extracurricular activity after school, and they will be picked up by their parents and coming home and to do some homework and have a little family time and have a dinner and go take a shower or bath, and then they go to bedtime. But now, think about us. It's very hard for us, even others, dealing with working from home. It's very unstructured, and sometimes we struggle, right? It also applies to the kids. So it is very important having same time to wake up and have a meal at the same time, and have some playtime and study time or family time, TV time, screen time. Having a routine is very important so the kids can predict. So I woke up and mommy or my dad will have some breakfast for us. And I know I have to do some homework or study. And then after that, I know my mom will take me to outside and will ride some bike, or we'll go to park and we'll play some ball games, and we'll come back and have some dinner and take a shower and go to the bed. So they can, the structure give them like a feeling, oh, I know what's gonna happen today. They can predict, and it provides them some security, safety. Now as an adult, we don't know what's gonna happen next month or 2 months or in the fall. It's the same thing. Sometimes kids use their imagination in bad way because of lack of information. And I mean, we don't have information either, but because of the lack of information, the anxiety might be really huge for them. So we need, as an adult, we need to explain to them, of course, the developmentally appropriate way, use their language, explain to them what's happened. And, sometimes we need to inform them, oh, mommy doesn't know either, there is a big virus, and doctors, nurses, other healthcare providers, they fight really hard. So you explain to them so they can have proper information, so they don't imagine, like they don't dream nightmares.
Right. I wanted to also, talking about this, the anxiety, was a comment about, the children stress, or they sense when parents are stressed, and, they kind of feed off that, and kind of what you're talking about too, that's important for the parents to have self-care. How do you, how important is it from your perspective that the parents are able to cope with their own stress, and that they don't, they're able to manage parenting in a way that is not stressful. How important is that in your mind?
I think, I mean, it's normal to be stressed. You never experiences these kinds of lifestyle. Everyone stay at home. Your spouse, your entire family in the stay home 24 hours. So, find your own way to scope with your stress. Sometimes I heard some of my friends who are parents, they had to walk up earlier than their kids and go for walk, and spending 1 hour just solely for themselves. Or if you're owl, you stay late and spend your nighttime just for yourself. And I think everyone handle their stress in a very different way. So yourself well. So what makes you happy? I think it is important to the parents to find a way relieve their own stress. Once a week, you need to talk to your family members, and then ask their help, with their assistant. You can find your way, and then I think that will eventually affect your kids.
Yeah, and the comment about the children reacting to the parent's stress. So the parent is stressed. So if a parent is anxious, stressed, frustrated, the child's gonna react on it. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, kids feel everything, and they listen everything. So again, providing appropriate information to the kids is important, and explain your feeling. You don't need to overwhelm them, but use appropriate language to explain what's happening right now, and how you feeling as a parent, and sharing with them. I think that's also important.
Thank you. That's great. That's good. A lot of good information. I know there's been some comments, and I want to encourage some questions. We're about almost 45 minutes in, but I want to try to have some interaction from the participants. So please, you can post questions, but if you do feel you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, you can go ahead and do that. We'll try to manage so there's not too many people at one time. But let's try to have some comments and questions from our attendees.
Yes, Judy.
Unmute your mic, Judy.
Hi.
Hi.
So I understand patience. I understand the explaining. I understand, communication as taking all the steps. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. I need your cooperation. And you're telling them, they still don't get it. And then your next option is like, I've been told, you're so patient with them. You are so patient. You're the most patient mom I know. But at the same time, I've also been told, you're too lenient. You're too lenient. You let them get away with everything. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be that spanking mother. I have been more so since quarantine. Mm-hmm. And I found that it's flipping on me, because they never used to try to hit me. But since I explain, and I take the steps and everything, and then it's finally, okay, 3-4 times now, here's the spank on the bottom. And that's where they're getting, okay, just a moment. That's where they're getting let me hit you so you can understand what I want from you. And I'm stuck in that right now.
I mean, it's frustrating when you explain, and they don't listen. I think it's important to look at what's beyond their behaviors. So for example, like what's their needs there, the kids, for example, kids keep interrupt you during your meeting, so what they want, attention, right? And telling them mommy is working, it doesn't meet their needs, so I think sometimes we need to make a decision, so like spending, like just be absent from the meeting just 10 minutes if you don't have to be there at the meeting, ask some, ask your colleagues, let me deal with them, just go there and just 3 minutes, fully pay attention, give them your attention to your kids and listen to them. 3 minutes. Sometimes when we acknowledge their feeling, we just, oh, you're hungry or you need me. But just be there, just 3 minutes and try to meet their needs. I think that that helps.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think that's, what you said earlier, saying, Min, that it's just, it takes practice, and it's not easy to do. We can explain it. Oh, here's what you should do, and it makes sense, and it sounds like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But when you try to do it, it's really hard.
It is hard. That's why, I teach these skills to my students and parents, but I'm just sharing what I know, and I'm just sharing what the research said. And I know it is hard. It is hard to practice at home. And you're parents, you're with them 24 hours and 7 days. And it requires a lot of patience, and you can't be perfect. I'm teaching this skill, and I ask the parent, just spend 30 minutes per week. You don't have to use it every time, every day. No, that's impossible. Just 30 minutes, turn off your phone, just 30 minutes, once a week, not a day, once a week, just 30 minutes, and fully use this skill. And you told them this is a special playtime. Mommy will play with you Sunday morning, 9 o'clock to 9:30, and you fully use these skills and pay attention to them, and you committed that time and for your relationship. I'm not asking you 7 days, no, just 30 minutes per week. And research says it works. And from my experiences, clinical experience, it works. It's amazing, how it works. But whenever I ask parents, do you play? Yes, but they don't really play. They sometimes talk with the parents. Sometimes they driving. Yeah, I play with them. No, play means you turn off your phone and you go to their room. No interruption, just 30 minutes. That slowly, gradually changes. And it takes time, but research says, and from my experiences, it works. So we can't be perfect. There is no perfection, but we try, and a small step will make a change.
Paul, I have a question. Can I ask a question? Thank you, Sangmo Min. I have a question. I have a 13-year-old. School's going to be out now. So how do we transition from school to now summer when we're still at home? how do we create, that schedule that Mark asked about? Like what, in terms of what's appropriate for a teenager to do in terms of chores or other things besides television and video games
Yeah.
at home. He does spend some time outside on his scooter. It's hot right now. It's going to get hotter in the summer. So it's not like we can just say go outside, because that, if it gets really hot, so we have to navigate that. We have them at home, that this is our reality. But what would be something we can, I don't want to be in a negotiation situation. I want to say okay, so much time with technology, so much time, how you do chores first. Like, what do you recommend? What does the research recommend works?
I think not negotiation, but working together.
Okay.
So I unfortunately I don't have basic information about your family. So look at your family routine and his or your children's routine, and I think you can sit down with him or her and ask what they want for summer. So I think it is important for both of you have a come up with the schedule or routine, and work together on the schedule together. And also because it's a summer, and having a little project, a fun project for him or her. So I know we are so used, the kids are very used to some structured activity, and now it's all gone. So it is important for the parents and provide for them something to do, sometimes, go there and study. And they don't know what to do. So come up with some idea what they wanted to achieve this summer, and what kind of routine or errands or chores you want him or her to do, or what she or he wanted to do. I think having that a schedule or routine together, working together, I think that's important.
Thank you.
And there was a question. There's a few questions. The first one was, what can we do to stop siblings from fighting all day? I know there's probably a lot we could say about that, but what are your just initial thoughts on that?
So I don't know what they are fighting over. So I think it depends on what they are fighting over. And I think as a parent, if I were parents, I will find a pattern. In what situation, why they fight over, what makes them fight. It's a toy, it's a video game. So I would try to remove the triggers. First of all, I think what's the pattern, what makes them fight, or is it just are they just looking for your attention? So I think it is important to observe them and look for the pattern, and having some structures for them. Remove the trigger, and if you find that the reason, try to organize for them not to have the fights.
So it kind of like what you're saying before, there's an underlying need that they're trying to meet, such as attention or
Yes.
something else that's triggering this. It's not really the thing, it's something else.
Mm-hmm. So try to look at the big picture.
And I have another question. Would you recommend the 30-minute playtime with all your children at the same time, or individual?
Individual, yes. Because the relationship grow between one-on-one situation. So if you have multiple kids, let's say you have 3 kids, and I know it's hard for you as a parent having 3 times, different times, but from their perspective, it's just one time with the mommy. And having, I grew up with 2 siblings, and then myself, I have 2 two twin sister and brother, and they are 7 years younger than me. So I always like, you're a big sister, you know, you have to be a big girl. So it is, I feel like my twins brother and sister, they are younger. I feel like they robbed my parents, you know, having, and then I was very jealous, a jealous big sister. I always had to give up everything for my little twins brother and sister, and I have to be a good big sister. Uh, but you know, having my parents all uh, uh, by myself, it was a really happy, you know, happiest moment, you know. So having a one-on-one situation, a one-on-one playtime with mommy, and just you and targeting or focal child is really important. And you know, you need to be fair. You know, for example, like, okay, I know when I see my own family life, I know Sunday morning we have nothing. We don't go to church. Sunday morning I don't have any work meeting. I don't have no visitor. So I know Sunday morning 8 o'clock we'll be here at home. So maybe that is the best time for you, having one-on-one time with one of your kids, right? So having a routine, again, make sure. So for example, I'm gonna have a 30-minute playtime with the John today. And you told Emily, mommy will play with you tomorrow, but tomorrow is Monday. Are you sure you're gonna play with the Emily? Just like with the John? So you want it to be fair to with all the kids. You know, you look at your family routine or schedule. You wanted to make sure having like a structured time. You wanted to make sure you are going to have that special play time with your kids, no matter what. So in that way, oh, I know, Emily might will think, I know today mommy will play with the John 30 minutes, but I know she's gonna play with me tomorrow for sure with me. So keep the promise, you know, having equal time with all of your child is really important. But if you break up, that's, you know, you break those promise, that's gonna affect really bad to your relationship. So you, first of all, you have to make sure you have a time with all of your kids. If 30 minutes is too much for you, just 15 minutes, you know, just one-on-one quality time. I think that will be very, very beneficial.
And what you're saying, what I'm hearing is the most important thing is they get your full attention during that time.
Yes. So like Mark said, undivided parents' attention. So I'm gonna spend this 15 minutes just for you. No phone, no laptop, anything, but my full attention, you're gonna have it. And then once they experience it, yeah, oh, Sunday morning, I know 8 o'clock is my time, 9 o'clock is your Emily's time, 10 o'clock is Tom's time. If they know, they will wait as well.
Okay. And another question on that, one of the questions was, so what do you do during that time? Do you just do whatever they want, or how do you structure that time?
Yes. So you let them whatever they wanted to do. I mean, unless they hurt themselves or they hurt you. So safety is the most important. But during that time, you wanted to let you follow their lead. So in child-centered play therapy, we will call it a child-centered and let them child lead. So in that way, oh, my mommy trust me, so I can play in this way and that way. So I know you wanted to teach them. You know, sometimes I ask parents, do you play with them? And then when I observe them, no, they don't play, they teach. Here's 1, 2, what's next? you know. So they wanted to teach, but in that special playtime, you just follow down whatever they lead to you.
And so basically, as long as what they're doing is set within the limits, then it's whatever you let them kind of control and lead that whole 30 minutes or that 15 minutes.
Yes, I mean, in filial therapy or child relationship therapy, it takes like 8 weeks, 10 weeks to learn these skills, how you appropriately conduct this playtime. I know this is not a counseling session. This is just a casual, informal session, but the intention, the goal beyond the affiliate therapy or CPRT is counselors teach this skill to the parents, so parents master it, and counselors, we support them and supervise those playtime, special play session with their parents at home, with their kids at home.
Maybe it's good to point out, like, just to also on what you're saying, to kind of follow up, to say that if anyone wants to really learn that in depth, they should go and get the training, because there is training for that. There's parent-child relational therapy.
Yes.
But some of the things that we're talking about now, that you're talking about, it can still be helpful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think just your full attention, your parents' undivided attention to one child at a time. I think that the children, it's very, for them, it is very rare to experience one parent's full attention for an entire 30 minutes. I think that will be a wonderful experience, both of you.
Okay, great. There was another question. I don't know. It's more about appropriate chores for an 8 and 10-year-old. I don't know if that fits within, if we're able to determine what that is or not. But do you have any thoughts on that? What appropriate is it? Kind of, I think if what you were saying before about when Jean asked a question about, working out a schedule and what should they do, like, or do you think chores are something that should be agreed upon, like, together, or what do you think about that?
I think, you can talk with your kids. So giving them a choices, I think that also comes with the responsibilities. If you told them what to do, it's, you told me, the parents, you told me, I don't want to do it. But if you ask them, do you want to do this or do that? And then they got to choose, and then you can say, you choose to do that. So I think that comes with the responsibilities. So I think it is very important you have a discussion with them.
Okay. That might be the hard one for some people, right?
Right, it is hard, but I think it gives them responsibilities.
We're just over an hour right now, and so encourage. I mean, I'm saying, man, I don't know how much time you have. If you can stay on for a little bit longer, but I'm willing to stay on and answer questions as best as I can. I'm not an expert in parent-child relationship therapy, but I can try to answer the questions as best possible. But if saying Min can stay on a little bit longer, we can stay on a little, maybe 15 to 20 more minutes, just to see. We'll leave it open for any questions.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. So you can use the chat space, or you can also, if you feel like you really want to, or if you have a comment too, you can go ahead and unmute your mic and do that as well.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
How do sometimes I guess I just feel a little guilty about letting my kids use like too much technology. I give them sometimes like the tablet or the phone or like TV and stuff like that, just so that I can get some work done or, things like that. So how do I mean, is that okay to, have those quote unquote resources to give them, or are there other things that I should try besides just giving them the technology?
So I think that's the dilemma these days. Some I heard that some parents said, "Oh, I give up." It's it is a great way for the parents. Make them kids busy, and so you can do work. And of course, it is not a best way, but now we are using more technology. Think about us, as an adult. We spend more time on the screen because of this pandemic. Everything transferred to, technology. So I think it is okay to increase their screen time a little bit. But at the same time, we as an adult, we need to come up with some other activity, not just, play with the outside, play with the toys. We as a counselor, I compete with a video game too. My research interest is nature-based play therapy, and whenever I go to a classroom and pull out the kids, they are playing with the computers and they don't want it to come out, and I need to convince them. So I know it takes effort and time as a parents to prepare something else, but I think we need to make a balance, having some balance. We admit that now world is changing, and increasing screen time is inevitable. We can't avoid that, so accept that it is okay, not to be so guilty about it, but at the same time we want to put a little bit of effort to create something else for them, not just go outside and play. What kind of activity can they do?
What are some, because I see Mark comment about redirecting towards physical outdoor activity, outdoor time, like what you were saying, but what are some of the things, I know you do, nature-based play therapy. What are some activities that you've seen that parents or that children can do outside that's not necessarily therapy, but just some activities that you've kind of come across? What are your thoughts?
So you can buy some play sand. I think sand is number one, a natural material the kids select to play. So play therapist, for your information, in a play therapy room has a lot of different variety of toys. And the counselors, play therapist researched what type of material the kids play most. Number one was the sand. So I think sand is the very attractive material for the kids. So I think having some sand, your backyard or your porch, I think that'll be a great activity for them, and maybe some bubbles. And from my experiences, when I did my nature-based play therapy, kids drawn to the waters. We don't have a luxury like a pools, but we have a holes, right? Having a hose or some water cans, water can be a great playful source for them. So I think that would be a great activity for the kids.
Great.
Hello, can I say something?
Yes?
This is Hector from the CAS office. Hello to everyone. I
Hi.
just went to go get my groceries this past weekend, and we got a pool for $60 at Walmart.
That's great.
We don't have to spend $300, $600. I mean, $60 ain't bad. And, that's for the kids so they don't get bored this summer, because the pool will be closed according to the mayor.
Yes. So the hose, I think just one hose, we saw that some kids do some experimental play outside. I think having a garden, let a garden, you can plant something and water them with them. I think that will be a great activity too. Yeah, watering your garden. I think that's a really great activity for them.
All right. Any other questions or comments? I wanted to also kind of bring up, so this seems to be a really topic that a lot of people are wanting. So if you guys want, I want to do another one this week, next week, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep the same time, same day on Thursday. And if you want a continuation of this, I was going to ask, so we have Dr. Shin's perspective, which is great. There's a lot of great information she's able to provide. Also have Dr. Brown, who's a school counselor, and he has 3 kids, and he has 2 twins, and I forget how old Charles is, but you know, he has school counseling experience and also different perspective because he's dealing with it personally in his family as well, working from home and with the kids and everything. So I can ask him to come in next Thursday if you guys think this is a topic you want to stick with for 2 weeks, and then maybe the next week we move to something else. But if you guys have another topic, you can email. I would ask that you email. Well, you can put it in the comments, which I see a few people are saying yes. So I can ask him to do that, and I really do. So we'll continue that. I'm seeing a few comments say to continue that. So we'll continue it next Thursday, and I'll send the information out tonight to Nicole so she can try to post that. And then, you know, but also please let me know or let Nicole know, I guess, what other topics you're also interested in. And Gina's just said a comment. There's a Mama PhD group that I can send you information for moms to log in. So that's great information. We will, like I said, we'll stay on. If you need to leave, you need to leave. If you have additional questions, go ahead and post them. But we'll continue this same topic next Thursday with a different speaker. It'll be a different perspective. And so you guys get a little bit more of a rounded information. And the question about the recording, it's still recording. I'll stop it in a few minutes, I guess. But the recording, so this is a technology thing that Kathy I recorded the last one, and I gave access, you know, to Nicole. I don't know if she's gonna be able to post it since you're working on that. I don't know if Mallory is here, if she has any comment on that. But the intent is to post all of them. I'm recording all of them, and we're gonna try to post all of them. That's the intent.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So the intent is to make all of them available on the website. It's the Minors on Monitors for the Center of Student Engagement and Leadership to be available there. So that's the intent. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for showing up.
Thank you.
I had a question. I'm so sorry. It's been difficult to actually get on and ask the question because I have to be moving from room to room, hiding from my kids. I'm just kidding. No. Of course, hearing all the advice about the outdoor plays and, you know, getting them to do more activities. In my case, I'm having a lot of trouble actually having them go outside. You know, we do have an above ground pool. They have bikes, they have scooters, but I literally have to bribe them into going outside and doing these things. They rather be indoors and play on the PlayStation, on technology and so forth. So even, you know, I did catch the sand, or even encouraging them with that. Maybe I'll try something different, letting them play with mud or something, because even the above ground pool is not working for them. I'm not sure if that's because we have let them use a lot of or too much of the technology, but I don't know what your thoughts are about that.
So I would recommend you review your technology rules first. So have a consistent rules. So for example, I don't know what's your rules and what's your family lifestyle, but have some realistic rules. For example, every day, just 1 hour. Maybe that is unrealistic for your family lifestyle. So think about what would be the realistic screen time or video game time. So in addition to schoolwork or technology study time, in addition to that, having 1 hour, 2 hour, or when can they play video game? And as a parent, be honest, do you have that rule consistent? Sometimes it's really easy as a parent. Okay, I will let you play just today because you have been so good. But that doesn't help when you look at a long term. So having a consistent rules every day, no matter what, that is very important. So they will learn, here's the routine, here's the rule in this house, and that's not gonna change. But sometimes as a parent, it's so easy to let them, okay, today you can play, because today is your other families comes and the mommy has some other work to do, so I will let you play another time. That inconsistent rules confuse them, and then that enforce them. Oh yeah, I know. When I whine to the mom, and then I know she will let me play. So having a consistent, realistic rules I know it takes time to actually practice it, but that's really important. And in that way, again, the kids can predict what's gonna happen in this house, and that helps for them to go outside and engage with other non-technology play. I think that might help.
Got you. Thank you so much.
And there's also a comment about doing things indoors, like building obstacle courses and forts with safe items indoors, pillows and things like that.
Yes.
It's kind of a little bit like the playroom, sort of, for play therapy. Same idea.
It's hard, sometimes we don't want them on screen, we want them off screen, but sometimes we don't know what they can play. So we need to prepare something for them, having little chores, having little work, writing a letter or making some card for friends, having a little activity for them that helps them to off the technology.
Any other questions? We stay on about 12 more minutes till 4:30. We'll stay on.
Gina, I think that's great idea. 10 things you wanted to learn this summer.
It becomes almost like a game. Like, okay, so it was his birthday in April and he got gifts. So he wrote thank you letters, how to put to whom. And then it took forever, but he did it. I was very proud that this is the first time. Yeah. So it's like a life lesson, right? Writing thank you letters. But I think I still need the other 9.
Yes. Very little things, help them to be busy.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Bye. You too.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for great questions. I really enjoyed having this conversation. I really appreciated your time.
So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording now. And
Thank you.